Hey kids, Bill here in the garage again. Got my coffee. Got a real treat here. Whoa, went to help myself the other day. Went to Dunky D's. So I haven't been on here for a while because I didn't have anything really more to report. But now there's a lot going on, and I think it needs to be commented on. So let me get my chair comfortable here. So I went to the Miata dealer the other day, and I was looking at the new Miatas, and I figured maybe I'll go and buy one. But so they didn't have one, and the one they were getting was an automatic. So who wants to buy a Miata with an automatic? You got to have a stick shift. So I went to Berglund Miata in Salem, and they had like a bunch of them, all with sticks, 6 speeds. Excuse me, removable hardtops. But I was all jazzed to get it. But everywhere I go on mine, I'm getting a lot of comments, like especially from people my age, are like, "Oh, that's a really cool car, and it's red and it's neat. It's a neat car." And I had it out yesterday with the top down. I was going topless, so I went to the guy in Salem, and he wanted me to take it out for a test drive, and they're putting the license plate on, and I'm looking at it. I'm looking in the inside of it, and I'm looking at my car, and then comparing with the loaner I had the other day from Mazda, which was an SUV, brand new. And from Lynchburg to my house, all it did was beep and buzz, and this isn't hooked up, that's not hooked up. I'm like, what the fuck? Give me a radio with 5 buttons and 2 knobs and a heating system that you can figure out. So I figured, no, I'm not going to do it. So, plus they weren't going to give me enough for my car. So I said, the hell with it. Plus, I can't spend that much money on myself or a car after watching all these people. Oh, I have to have the star. I have to drive behind the star. Oh, fuck that, man. It's just a car. So I took the money and made better use of it here locally. So, but that's not what I came here to talk to you about. So when I was a kid, I think I told you this, in like the second grade, I got this revelation, like, what is this all about? And who cares? And then I'm in Catholic school, and so 60 kids in the class. Each class had 60 kids, baby boomers. Catholics know birth control or rhythm method or whatever the fuck. Nobody knows what they're talking about anyway. So, and then the nuns up there, blah, 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 you're going to be so much happier in heaven. And so I got up and I said, well, why don't we just go there now? Next day I'm in public school, Hamilton School on the other part of town here. So but then also I started to think, if you live long enough, you're going to see this all unravel. And all these kids are like, they're not looking at the situation the right way. So now, Poland is going to get nuclear weapons. Germany is going to get nuclear weapons. And it is all unraveling, and it's always because of one guy, dude. It's always because of one guy. So I just thought that's interesting that, it is all unraveling now, and it's like people are basically too stupid to see the forest for the trees, but it's going to be fun to watch. The only thing that I feel bad for is the kids that are coming up that have their heads buried in these cell phones and didn't build mini bikes and go-karts out of stuff that people were throwing out around the neighborhood, don't really appreciate it, don't know what it's like to be a kid, because they're buried in facelift and all this other crazy nonsense that nobody really cares about. I don't get. You get up in the morning and you read on Facebook, I got up this morning and I farted. Well, so what? Everybody gets up in the morning and farts. Get used to it, Oh, so the Panama Canal, right? So Rumpy wants to take over the Panama Canal. So No big deal. Forget it. Just get Big Earl in here. He'll just cut a canal down through the lower 48 there. All he has to do is do eminent domain on the left and right coast, because in the middle, the government owns all that anyway. So just dig a canal through the middle, and then you have a place to go. Plus, the oceans will level out. You won't have like one ocean that's higher than the other. You have everything just be level on the same playing field, so to speak, if I may be so bold as to say on the same playing field. But just bring in Earl, because Earl made the Rockies in like a couple hours. They just sent him out there with the big D-47, and he dozed those mountains in like, I don't know, like probably took him, I think, like 2 hours. He took a coffee break for like 10 or 15 minutes. Then he started the big D-47 up again, and he started to doze, and he built the Rockies in like a couple hours. That was a government contract too, by the way, in case you don't want to know that. Theodore Roosevelt issued that proclamation because they wanted to make sure that if California did eventually fall into the ocean, they'd have a barrier to protect the rest of the country from the ocean coming in. So that's why they built the Rockies. So my proposition is take 80, Route 80, east to west, and make it a canal. So it'll be Canal 80. So just doze 80, and then you have a place where you can put the ships through from one side to the other. And then Big Earl could take Greenland and tow that down to like the Gulf of Mexico or the Gulf of America, whatever you want to say. And that could be the other 50th state, 51st state down there. And then you wouldn't have to go into the Gulf to go to Mexico. You could just like walk across. They could put a highway down there and you could just drive across. So I know everybody gets all excited about it. It's not a big deal. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Remember, like and subscribe.